Think you know your stuff? Get on our winner takes all $300,000 NFL pool for the upcoming season. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today and use the promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
Like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. You're
listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
It's good.
Shout out. All right. Big ups to the black and gold. We in this thing, Sports Coma, representing the mighty Who Dat Nation. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. What's popping? How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing this Friday night? Big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the live, man. And listen, fam, I just wanted to talk at y'all for a few tonight, man. Listen, a lot of stuff going on as it usually is. But listen, the crazy part about all of this is, right, man, we talk about stuff, man, and you be like, man, yeah, we be covering a lot. But fam, you know, the first thing I want to talk about, we see Michael Thomas. We're going to jump back into this one. But really, the one I really want to talk about at first is this one. Y'all see what I'm saying here? We talked about this last night. This wasn't even a story. We covered this and talked about this last night. And then today, the Saints hire Randy Mueller in an advisory role. We talked about this last night. The next thing you know, guess what? The Saints got Randy Mueller back. Y'all getting it now? Y'all getting this now? Are y'all getting it? Randy Mueller been gone since 2002. We talked about this last night. This wasn't even a news item. And I was telling family members what happened. And next thing you know, Randy Mueller is back with the Saints the very next day. That's like ridiculous, right? Unbelievable, right? No doubt. But yeah, man, we're going to cover this. We're going to talk about this and more in today's episode of the Coma. Big ups to the fam. We're going to go over it. And I've seen a few things some people sent me about different articles. And this is some of the examples of some of the articles and the topics that we're going to cover today. But a lot of stuff's popping and snapping, man. But before we even get into this, man, let's kind of go down the line here. I want to just do my customary shout outs to the day ones, the day twos, the day threes, the mighty Who Dat Nation, the great Saint Think Tank. Big ups to you guys. Appreciate you being in the stream, being patient and spending your Friday with me. Big ups to you guys. Much love. OG Jerry is in this thing. Big ups to you. What's up, brother Gary? How you doing, my brother? Appreciate you. Good to see you, man. Been a while, man. My brother Hoodie, man. Shout out to Hoodie, man, for being in here as well. Shout out to the hardworking Hoodie. What's up, Lee? What's popping, fam? Appreciate you being in the stream. Trav 504, brother Quivadius, brother JT's in this thing. Brian's Flat Power Guides in this thing. Big ups, Big Valley. What's happening, fam? Appreciate you, Cartel Boy in the building. KD, what's happening, bro? He said, I don't know if I want this team to succeed because obviously I'm a fan, or I should be hoping we're trash, so we definitely can get rid of Dennis Allen and Mickey. Don't waste your time, brother. Don't waste your time. Hoping to fail is not a good habit to start. Be very careful of the words, too. You know, you remember this. This is game, early game, is that whatever you throw at somebody else, it'll be to you. It don't matter. It don't matter who. Remember that. That's how this whole society, not society, but that's how the world, the rules that the universe is made up of is basically, it breaks down where whatever you say or even do comes back to you, even if it's against somebody else. It come back to you. Whatever you wish upon somebody else will happen to you. So you kind of pronounce sentence over yourself. Whatever's meant to be will be. Let's stand on truth, brother. We're going to get this stuff. Whether it's, we'll see if he's the truth or not. We'll stand on that, man. We'll see if it's the truth or not. But shout out to Jermaine's in this thing. Big ups to the rest of the fam. What's up, Jamaica? Big ups to you. And listen, fam, like I said, man, that's a big advantage of knowing the principles of how this place was constructed. That's a big thing. That's how a lot of the so-called echelon or higher ups, they know the rules of how this was constructed, and they specialize in trying to get around them. They do all these weird routines and things to get around them, but you can't get away from the schools. You can't avoid the schools. So everything they do is a counterfeit. That's why they go up and go down. It's all synthetic. It's not real. It's not meant to last, you know, because they're not doing it the correct way. Learn the rules of the place that you in, fam, and watch how you go up. Watch how your life change, for real. All right, big ups to the rest of the fan. Jack says, Saints are too political to make decisions. Can we just get a real GM and head coach that make decisions based on what people put on the field? They've got big, fat, and rich, which usually means you will end up going to turn degenerate. That's the cycle of history. If you watch all of the history, some of the strongest and wisest and most powerful civilizations the history of the world ever seen were at a peak where they were inventing, growing, doing great things, and then a degenerate class came along and tore it all down. It happened all throughout history. That's why it was always the moral people killing the heathens, and that's what they did. I'm just keeping it a buck. You go and read around, it'll tell you. A lot of times they will get out there and they'll put that work on. Serious, man. That's how history said that. History is not, it tells you all about that. Boy, the moral people, man, they went to war. They put that pain on them heathens out there. Let me tell you, man, that's how it went. Because when they come along and they start reaching and tear, because that's the nature, they driven by something else that's a destructive force and they can't control it. That's why it's up to you to defend it. You have to defend what you build, or they'll all tear it and snatch it down. That's the nature of that spirit that those people run with. They'll tear it down. They'll tear it down. Everything you built, you got to stand up on it. 504 Cole, big ups to you. Says Q putting in work, brother. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Much love, Young City. Big ups to you. All right. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, man, it's about time, man. It's time for the fam to stand up on a lot of this stuff. All right, big up. Yeah, we know this. We know this, bro. What's up? What's going on? God's appointed one. What's up? But yeah, it's old visionary history, bro. We know, bro. We used to, ain't nobody was talking about this, and then up pops. What's the odds of that happening? What's the odds? All of the stuff we've been saying happens this year. All of the stuff we've been saying 4 years happens this year. The Randy Mueller thing, we'll touch on that today. All right. Yeah, absolutely, Brian. Y'all know, man. We talk about this every day. Y'all in here every day. We be open there, holding up, having a union meeting, talking Saints. All right. Gerard says, what? Why? We're going to get into it, brother. We're going to break it down because the man is good at what he does. The reason why Mueller, matter of fact, let's touch on that one first, bro. Let's touch on the Randy Mueller thing first. Randy Mueller should have never been fired. And when he was fired, the guy that took over the position that he was in was Mickey Loomis. That's how Mickey rose to power after the firing of Randy Mueller. But Randy Mueller was a very good general manager for the Saints. He was like the executive of the year, like I think a year or two prior to him. I think it was 2 years prior to him being fired. And then we talked about it last night, didn't we? How it all happened. Dennis Lauscher and Ernie Ficklo, who's no longer with the team. I don't know if Ernie Ficklo's still alive or not, but Dennis Lauscher, who's the current president of the team, went to Tom Benson. Oh, look what he's doing over there with his Mickey voice. He channeled his inner jealous Mickey voice. Oh, hey, look what he's doing over there. Oh my God, he made a move without asking your permission. And Tom Benson said, hey, man, you can't do that. I'm the man. I'm hands-on. I'm the New Orleans version of the Dallas guy, Jerry Jones. I'm doing this and that. And he canned him for making a move without telling him. He canned him for that. Didn't give him a chance. Didn't give him a like, hold on, you know what? That's strike one. I made mistakes when I was coming up. I wasn't perfect. We learned by our mistakes. I'm gonna give you another chance. Didn't do that. One hitter quitter, baby. But we're gonna talk about it though. All right, what's up, Booker? Big ups to you. Good to see you. Christopher, shout out to you. Good to see you, man, in the building as well. Jack says Randy Mueller coming back made me feel like the Dukes of Hazzard songs, the good old boys. He's back. What's up, Farouk? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Brother Gerard, man. Big ups to you, man. All right. Chris says, I'm not a fan of DA, but I see improvement in him, so I hope he see that. Now that's fair, Christopher. Shout out to you, man, because that's what listen, man. A lot of people can throw a lot of stuff at Dennis Allen, but like I told the family members, I said, man, listen, Dennis Allen is talking like we wanted him to talk. He's doing what he changed the offense and got guys that know what they can do. We still got our guys here, offensively speaking. He did improve the defense a lot, and it's never, let's just be very clear from a historical recent history standpoint about Dennis Allen, is that he's always have been a off-season personality, which means in the off-season, he's doing it. The energies are different. But when you get ready for the season to start, you're supposed to be pumped, amped, excited. That last press conference, the last couple of press conferences, his energy was a little down there. You got to lift that up, brother. You got to lift that up for the season, man. So, yeah, he's been talking right because he's under the gun. He's under the pistol. And the pistol is the pistol that the Who Dat Nation have firmly on him. And they're saying, hey, man, you got to get this or let the cannons blow. And we ain't talking Tampa Bay. All right, big ups to you, man. All right, Soul Visionary says this may take a couple of posts, but some under Miss B too comfortable in making decisions like as long as it's mid and not too bad, I can raise up in the franchise. Thank you, bro. 504 says, yep, Q, they talk about that in the book Fall of America. Every great society has fallen. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. That's historical thing. That's why there is like in some of the ancient cultures, they had a priest class. And we ain't talking about no good people. We talking about people that was all into all kind of other stuff. And when them people rise to prominence and when they start taking over, then everything goes down. And it's the spirit in these people that they can't do nothing with. They allow themselves, like I said, you are being a frequency and energy. That's the reality. That's the God's honest truth. You are a being of energy. You have what they call it, the solar plexus. Solar is another word for sun. You have that energy inside of you. That's what keeps you warm. And when you move on from this earthly form, that body turn cold and break apart and go back to which earth it came from. But as often we know that whatever's in here isn't from here. It's not from here. It's from somewhere celestial. It's not from here. That's obvious the case because it lives longer than what you see here. This is not really who you are. But yes, when you got it's the spirit in certain people that allow themselves to fall into that energy. And then once they get there, they don't have the spiritual discipline or any other discipline for that matter to be able to fight it off and better themselves. So they embrace it and become what they are. They embrace it. So, like I said, back in the day, they used to knock them off. I ain't lying to you, man. Go look it up. That's what they was doing. They was knocking them off big time, you know. Now they kind of said to you, nah, hey, man, y'all, you can't do that. You can't let. I'm letting you know, man, that's what been happening. But they ain't playing. They was doing all kind. Man, I would, if I can tell you what they were doing and they doing today, boy, you wouldn't believe it. Maybe I'll tell you on Q one day. We'll go over that. Because I think I covered some of that. Because there's a bunch of shows of this. I talked about a lot of this stuff on Q with Big Q on Patreon. All right, anyway, let's keep it moving, man. The reality of what we facing, like, and Christopher, shout out to you, man, is the point about Dennis Allen. You said you'd have seen improvement in Dennis Allen. I have seen improvement in Dennis Allen. I see him. I told you, talking better, talking accountability. He's talking attention to detail. He's talking these things. So as he picking the right people. Offensively speaking, he improved upon his defense. Still some stuff he got to work on. Now we move from talking to talk to walking the walk. Can he walk that walk? That's when it comes down to, can he walk the walk? And we'll see. First story: Saints hire Randy Mueller in an advisory role. Okay. Mueller is returning to the Saints. Very crazy. Jeff Duncan of NOLA.com reports that the Saints are hiring former general manager as a full-time advisor in the team's front office. Mueller served as the Saints GM from 2000 to 01 and later was the GM of the Dolphins from 05 to 07. He's most recently was the director of personnel with the Seattle Sea Dragons. He joins longtime friend general manager Mickey Loomis in the front office, working primarily in the club's pro and college scouting departments. Working in primarily the club's pro and college scouting departments and assisting in strategic planning initiatives, according to Duncan. Mueller advised the Saints unofficially during the NFL draft, and he attended the team's training camp in California earlier this month. Did anybody know this? Did anything was reported about Randy Mueller being in that capacity? He becomes the third former general manager in the Saints front office, joining Dave Ziegler, who was the Raiders guy, Jeff Ireland, and Ziegler hired as a senior personnel advisor early this year and was the Raiders GM from 22 to 23. Ireland, who was the Saints director of college scouting and assistant general manager, was the Dolphins GM from 2008 to 2013. And he built a mean defense out there in Miami, by the way. Jeff Ireland did. Jeff Ireland has a gift, even though as of recent, a lot of the stuff he has been doing has been falling flat. A couple of the first round draft picks not measuring up. Peyton Turner, Davenport, and all these guys. Penning struggling. Can't say too much if Penning was a bad call on Ireland because of the way the Saints didn't develop Penning. Like in his first year, the Saints played him one game. The second year, they threw him in there. He flopped. Played like 5 or 6 games. They benched him. I think it was 5 games. Then they just actively benched him. They didn't deactivate him, but he was active, but just benched, buried in the active roster. Then with them having cap issues, they say, okay, let's move him to the opposite side and see if we can value the pick. That's why I was people asking about, hey, man, Q, what you think about Trevor Penning? Saints going to give him every opportunity to succeed, because if he doesn't succeed, that's another black eye in the face of Mickey Loomis, Jeff Ireland, Dennis Allen for picking first-round draft picks that are not ready to help. And to be quite honest with you, in year 3, that man should be ready in a role to really be doing what he's supposed to be doing. But like I said, a lot of that's both their problems. That's both their faults. And I've been saying that about the Saints. So if you put smoke on Penning, you better put smoke on Dennis Allen, because Dennis Allen used him in the wrong capacity. They rolled him out there. They put him in a position to fail. And now they're trying to redeem the kid. And I think he'll do all right, like I was saying, from the right tackle position. Now you have to run a scheme. You couple that with the fact that they have a new offensive scheme that they have to figure out. And Penning himself did say that the scheme is more of a fit. He said that in the press conference, is more of a fit. with what they're doing versus what they did last year. A lot of which is more of a fit because it's run heavy and it allows him to put his hands on defenders and push them out the way. And that's what he really does best. He's a confident, driven player. He's a rhythm player. And when he starts blocking and moving and getting everything together, he will improve as long as John Benton's on him. And as long as they keep giving him the reps, make sure they keep him up, keep updating and making sure he doesn't, he's not too high, making sure his head plan placements are right. All that is practice. All that is practice. You got to be practicing. Matter of fact, even though the Saints are off over the next couple of days, Penning should be really, if he's somewhere, Penning should be right now practicing. There should be no off days for Trevor Penning. Not what he needs to catch up. He had his off days the first year and the second year. Much of the first 5 games he played and all that time he had off. Now he needs to be actively doing every day as much as he can possibly do out there, working on technique, working with coaches or whoever work with him on the off day. That's what he needed to be doing, right? Maybe not right now because it's almost even right now. Shit, what else you can do? You don't drive an airplane. You don't pilot no airplane. You don't run on no train nowhere. You ain't growing no gardens. You are an offensive tackle. You need to be working on your craft. That's what you need to be doing. But anyway, in terms of the Randy Mueller story for him coming back to the Saints in the capacity, you have to look at it. This is, and think about it like this. This is my thoughts on it. When Mickey Loomis bringing back Randy Mueller, and even though they calls him more as an advisor, remember what Mickey Loomis told you last year that he didn't do in-season evaluations during the season because he's too emotional. Is Randy Mueller's job to do in-season evaluations? Is it a way to get some of these other guys like Ziegler and Mueller to do the jobs, to split the jobs as the general manager does, without giving up the general manager position, bringing advisors as they call, even though they saying they're going to be advising, but be actually probably going to be doing activities. Could this be a way that Mickey Loomis is dividing responsibilities of the general manager without surrendering the position? That's what I think it is, because Randy Mueller was a real solid general manager, a likable dude. He knows football, high IQ guy, did a good job early on with the Saints. Like I said, he won the executive of the year when he was with the Saints. And then about a year later, or maybe 2 years, I forget, they fired him. They put him in the street. But he should have never been fired, and he should have been back a long time ago. But I think what this is, I think it's a situation where I think a lot of these guys that's advisors are guys that are going to be doing some of the stuff that Mickey Loomis is supposed to be doing. Like what a general manager do. A lot of that is going to be, in my opinion, divided because Mickey Loomis hadn't been doing that shit. He hadn't been advising and doing nothing in a very long time. But he's not going to give up the general manager position. That's why we kept saying and telling people that he needs to be removed from the general manager. But gutless leadership like Lauscher will not tell him, hey, man, listen, we need to do something else because you're getting up there in age. You've been doing this for 20 years for us. We appreciate your contribution, but we need a younger person there. He doesn't have any vision. He operating a job that he is not qualified for. He's a businessman and basically a smart businessman and an accountant. It had nothing to do with knowing no football stuff. He always, you got to ask Mickey Loomis and all that kind of bull. You got to know, man, at least half of what he knows. What if he's mischievous and wants to push your ass out the way? Then you just a big fat catfish and Mickey got the net ready to catch him if that's the case. But anyway, a little history, fam. Let's look at the history right here of the move, because some people might not remember Randy Mueller, but this used to be a general manager back in the day for the Saints when Jim Haslett was the head coach prior to Sean Payton. This is an article back from May the 9th of 2002, which talked about the firing of Randy Mueller. I read some of this on the previous show. Saints owner Tom Benson unexpectedly fired general manager Randy Mueller and took over the job himself, citing differences in management style. Mueller earned the NFL Executive of the Year honor in 2000 for a rebuilding job that helped the team gain its first playoff victory. That's when he won that. This was totally a bolt from the blue. I am shocked, said Mueller. He met Thursday morning with Benson a day after returning from a 2-day trip around Louisiana to promote the Saints ticket sales. He asked me to resigned. I refused, Mueller said. I didn't want to leave here. I had hoped to make New Orleans my home for the rest of my career. When I refused, he fired me. This is what Mueller's saying now. I was trying to find a video for it, but it's not available. Benson did not rule out eventually hiring another general manager. He said events leading to Mueller's release had been building because of communication problems. I am more of a hands-on owner, Benson said. In some cases, decisions were made without me. He said he was not told that running back Ricky Williams was going to be traded to the Dolphins in March. That's totally false, Mueller said. I can promise you we discussed everything with him. Mueller said Benson's lawyers had contacted him just last week to discuss contract renewal, upping his contract. The discussion was always about extending the contract. He always made that clear. That's what he wanted me to do, Mueller said. Benson said the firing had nothing to do with wins and losses. The Saints dropped 7-9 last season, nor with Mueller having discussed the job with the Falcons at the Super Bowl. The Falcons general manager, Harold Richardson, resigned Thursday. That's coincidental, Benson said. Mueller joined the Saints in 2000 when the team revamped its staff after going 3-13 in 1999. You want to talk about bad time, young Who-Dats? And soon hired head coach Jim Haslett. Benson said he hopes Haslett, a friend of Mueller, stays with the team, which he did. Mueller inherited the team with little talent, a few draft picks, but he rebuilt the roster with productive free agents and shrewd trades, including acquiring Aaron Brooks from Green Bay. The Saints rebounded to go 10-6 in 2000. So in 9-9, they were 3-13, and the Saints went 10-6 in 2000 because of Randy Mueller. Finishing atop the NFC West and beating reigning Super Bowl champion St. Louis in the first round playoff game. But New Orleans tied for third in the division last season, and ticket sales have been slow. Saints recently said they sold only 25,000 season tickets for the coming season, the fewest in the team's 35-year history. Then it goes into what he was paid, his salary, and they said Mueller's hiring 2 years ago came as a part of sweeping change that sent Mike Dick a pack, and y'all remember all that? Mike Dick and all that foolishness. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of brief y'all on the history of Randy Mueller, being that the Saints have brought Randy Mueller back in the capacity. And Randy Mueller was a good general manager. He was. Now, I don't know, he hadn't participated at that level, but he was still very much involved in professional football. So we'll see how this looks. But in my opinion, this could be a situation where you could see Mickey Loomis using Mueller and all these other guys in some capacity to kind of divvy up some of that general manager job, to have them to do some of these evaluations that Mickey told y'all that he didn't do because he was too emotional to do them. Y'all remember that? Put one in the chat if y'all remember that. And the smoke of everything been saying about how antiquated the Saints situation is under them. They need more basketball brains there. Now, I'll hire you as long as I am the man. I'll bring you back as an advisor. But well, remember, who's the big guy? That's me. I'm Slick Mickey. Yeah, Slick Mickey, very slick. Y'all seeing it. Y'all seeing it first straight up out of there. Well, we just giving a guy an opportunity. That's all it is. You're overreading it, Q. No, I'm not. This is some change that's happening. Some of this stuff that will happen, like what you see with the Saints, instead of them restructuring the organization, it's an attempt to kind of breach some of the gaps in lack of, like I said, during the season. And another thing that's very strategic is the timing of this move, right? Think about the timing. You got a few days before the week that starts the preparation for the Carolina Panthers and into the regular season. The timing of said maneuver that is exactly tied to some of those things that we were hammering about Mickey Loomis not doing as a general manager. Come on now. Great think tank. We in this thing, man. Very strategic at the start of the regular season. Just saying, man. We talked about this guy and talked about this history yesterday, and then they reported today. And nobody was talking about Randy Mueller. Was that a coincidence? I'll tell you, man, boy, the Saints are pretty clever, aren't they? Or should I say slick? Oh, slick Mickey. All right, anyway, let's move on to this, man. This is another article right here. Michael Thomas, former All Saints All-Pro wide receiver, issued 1 game suspension. What you did, Mike? Well, this is how it went. Michael Thomas remained the free agent, and he's set to miss the opening game of the campaign if he lands with a team before week 1. The former Saints All-Pro has been given a 1-game suspension, as noted by NFL's Network's insider Ian Rappaport. The suspension will be classified as a personal conduct violation. Rappaport adds the suspension stems from a November incident for which Thomas was arrested. The 31-year-old was alleged to have pushed a contractor and thrown a brick at a windshield after a verbal altercation. Thomas' representation later denied the situation became violent. In March, it was learned that Thomas was set to enter a pretrial diversion program. Upon its completion, the case, which brought forth misdemeanor simple battery and criminal mischief charges, was dropped. That brought an end to the 3-time Pro Bowler's legal situation, but the president has shown criminal convictions are not required for NFL suspensions to be handed down, which means that you don't have to be convicted, or whatever happened could be worked out. You can go make a mistake, go through a program, right? You know, it's all good. The authorities say, hey, man, we're all good. And Goodell still comes with the pain. So there ain't no forgiveness for the NFL, right? Unless they do wrong, good. Unless they do wrong. See, they can sit on high and rain down all kind of fire on these players. But when you caught leaking emails from people, picking out emails to destroy certain people, and then when they get the evidence on you to take your ass to court, then you call in legal favors to have the case kicked back from being open to the public to be in a situation where it is private and the guy that's running it is you, the guy that is being sued in the case. Oh, yeah. That is justice, isn't it? Yeah, it's justice, just us, which means it's him and his cohorts are running this little scheme that's going on. But you can rain fire down on some of these players. Boy, I'll tell you what. All right. But anyway, Thomas was among NFL's top receivers during his prime years in New Orleans. The former second rounder broke all-time reception records in 2019. He had 149, leading the league in yards as well with 1725. That production has earned him Offensive Player of the Year honors, but things have not gone according to plan. Since injuries limited him to 10 games in 2020 and 2022, he suited up for that mini contest last season. In a move that set up the nature of his contract, Thomas was cut by the Saints this offseason. No teams have connected to free agent pursuit due to the long list of ailments he has dealt with in recent years, some which has caused his, they're saying, well, guys kind of have it written funny, but something which has, of course, also hurt his production. Thomas remains free to sign with any team at any time, but in the wake of Friday news, his chances of landing a deal before the start of the season have taken a hit. So word on the street is Michael Thomas is not totally healthy. That's why he hadn't really got an opportunity. And this is like one of the situations where you'll see Michael Thomas probably miss the first week, and you might see Michael Thomas get picked up by a team, as you get into the season, like maybe 2 or 3 games inside of the season. Michael Thomas is ready to go. He'll choose a team to go to help, or if somebody might be need some help, or his type of help. And if he's healthy to help, then Michael Thomas is a help, period. If he's healthy. So getting healthy, that's a big thing with Michael Thomas. So I think he'll take his time this year. But in terms of him coming to New Orleans as a wide receiver, because I know people are going to ask me, hey, Q, you think Michael Thomas going? No. I think that ship has definitely sailed, right? So 1 game suspension for Mike. All right, let's keep it pushing and moving, man. Let's go to this article right here from Canal Street Chronicle. Shout out to them. Shout out to Tina Howell. Big ups. Are the Saints set at the safety position? New Orleans Saints have had great offseason, improving their defense from good to great, bringing in Chase Young to solidify the edge rush group and drafting Christian Boyd, who can greatly improve the run defense were amazing moves that could elevate the defense to another level. Looking at every defensive position group, it's very hard to find any issues, but one spot does stick out. The safety group has been one question mark on the defense. The Saints have not hidden this, and no way are the safeties bad. Tyron has shown consistency, production. Jordan Howden has been able to make big plays and have positional flexibility. And the addition of Will Harris has been a camp standout and is familiar with the defensive scheme. At face value, this is a good safety room, but if the Saints want to be number one defense in the league, the team needs to do two things: add competition and sign depth. More competition. In the wake of trying to get the roster down to 53, veterans Jonathan Abram and Ugo Amadi were released, both on the practice squad, by the way. All right. Abram competed for the second safety position battle. Ugo was versatile enough to play either safety or cornerback. And after the deadline, the Saints only had 4 safeties on the roster: Tyron, Jordan Howden, Will Harris, and JT Gray. If the competition for the second safety is still ongoing, then the battle is between Jordan Howden and Harris. JT Gray usually plays on special teams. He's not a factor. We say this: JT is strictly a special teams player. And when the Saints have issues like this, like, well, and I don't know if it's issue, but we've had guys that are extremely good. It's just what happens. You know, we've seen it year after year. We had Chris Banjo, really good special teams player, not good in the defense, though. You know, if he's back there, you're in trouble. Same thing happened with, what's the man name? I can see his face. He went to the Jets. Y'all put it in the chat. Y'all remember this. What's his name? Man, I can't remember the brother name. I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. Y'all put it in the chat. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Can't remember the brother name. But he went from here to the Jets. He became the Jets second team dude. Y'all put it in the chat. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And then, of course, you have JT Gray. No, not Marcus May. Nah, not Martha Allett. Not Browning. No, y'all, no. He was a special team ace for the Saints. He was special teams. He was a cornerback. I can't think of his name right now. Y'all gonna know he played corner. No, it wasn't Quan T-Rob. He's a cornerback. He played cornerback for the Saints. It's special teams. I can't think of his name. Now I gotta stop. Let me look at that, because let me see if I can find him if nobody else don't. Justin Hart. Thank you, Jasper. There you go, Jasper. That's him, Justin Hardy. Justin Hardy. Y'all remember Justin Hardy? Justin Hart. Thank you, Ken. Ken got it too. Justin Hardy. There you go. Y'all remember Hardy? Yeah, Hardy. Yeah. Was it? Yes, it's Justin Hardy. It's Justin Hardy. Justin Hardy. You had guys like Chris Banjo. You had Justin Hardy. All these guys, JT Gray, all of them really good special teams guys. But when it comes times for them to ask them to do something in your secondary, boy, you better not ask them people to do that. I'm just telling you. It's a noticeable drop between their special teams acumen when you ask them to go into their position group, whether it's a safety or cornerback. They always struggle. We've seen it. So, that's something that we've been dealing with here. The Saints know this and have already tried to add a top safety in free agency in Justice Simmons, although there may not be a safety if his caliber good options are still available. Now, my thing is this. We still have Jonathan Abram. We still have Ugo Amadi. I think the Saints feel like they're good, and you can kind of grab those guys if you need them and move them and bring them to the active roster if you need them. And it's kind of weird. And this is Dennis Allen's choosing. Now he's the ones that deciding how many safeties it is. It's kind of weird to only see 4 safeties there, even though we should have. They got 5. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got Lattimore, Adebo, Alante, Kool-Aid, and Rico. So you got 5 guys that's playing corner, and then you have 4 safeties. Usually, and then you have Will Harris, who can play safety and he can play cornerback. Kind of weird the Saints have only 4 safeties right there. That really surprised me, because I wouldn't think they'll go that bare. So, we'll see if they kind of switch it up as we get closer to the season, because I'm really not paying attention to that too much, because it's too much time for them to make a decision and change, or maybe cut somebody, because I still think some people that's listed on the unofficial depth chart are banged up, and some of those guys are going to be placed on the IR, and those spots will be opened up so that they can add people to it. You see what I'm saying? So there's still some roster manipulation or maneuvering. It's a better term there for the Saints to do. Because there, in my opinion, I was looking at, I was like, man, it's still, this guy here is questionable. This guy is questionable. What do you do with this guy? Is this guy really going to be on the team? You know, or is a few guys that you kind of have that thought on that the Saints kind of can grab and put somewhere else. Some guys they might cut, or some guys they might IR and bring somebody from somewhere else and say, okay, we got you here. Still some maneuvering left to be done. The depth, looking at last year's 53-man roster, the Saints went into the season with 6 safeties. Almost every player apart from this group played in-game minutes at the safety. If the Saints go into the season with only 4 safeties on the roster, then that is very risky. Injuries are bound to happen. The Saints should prepare now for it to happen. The Saints should add another safety spot to the active roster if injuries occur during the games. This can be done by removing a spot from one of the positions that already have a lot of spots, such as the linebacker, or using the injury reserve designation to return spot on an injury reserve player, such as Nick Saldiveri. The other option is to use some of the practice squad spots on multiple safeties. The Saints already has started to do this by bringing back Abram and Ugo Amadi and Millard Bradford. The Saints roster is very fluid. Many changes can be made, and that's the point. The writer does a really good job of then notifying you that it's still a fluid situation. We still are dealing with active and living roster. This is not a static roster in any sense of the imagination. You will still see guys. I really do think that there are guys on the Saints active roster right now that are going to be placed on IR. There's question marks about some of these guys. Are they really serious about kicking? Just to give out a few examples of what I mean, are they really serious about keeping Adam Prentice on the team, even though Taysom Hill's supposed to be a fullback? Because that spot, we don't need Taysom being a fullback, even though you can use Taysom in different situations. If the Saints really needed to, they can use a tight end in that role to operate as a fullback. Hell, we've seen on goal line packages, Bink Saunders, he won't be available for a few weeks, but we did see him used in the role. So the Saints being a little bit more inventive. That's why I was like, I liked Xander Horvat, because he can do more than Adam Prentice can. Adam Prentice is basically he's an old school fullback. It's nothing special about Prentice. But Xander Horvat was a guy that could be a short yardage runner for you. He's a guy that did catch the ball out. If you watch his footage, he was capable of doing a lot of stuff. It took multiple defenders to bring him down. He just looked better in what the Saints could be possibly attempting to do offensively speaking with Clint Kubiak. But is it really the case? Is Adam Prentice really going to stay on this 53-man roster heading into the game against Carolina? Or is that just a spot they're getting ready to pull? What about Nick Saldiveri? Is his injury good enough for him to play? He's been suffering with that calf issue all of the damn preseason. And we won't talk about Kendre Miller, who didn't get any reps. And name me how many reps that Nick Saldiveri got. And did he get enough to be considered as a solid replacement player for the Saints? You see what I'm saying? And there's a few other guys that I kind of keep my eye on too. That's there that we've yet to determine. Like if you look at guys like Jalen Ford. Jalen Ford, to my knowledge, has not been placed on anything, but I know he banged up. That's another spot that could be open. So just throwing a few things at you guys in the great Saint thing to count them all over. All right. All right, let's move on, man. Let's go to this article, man. Let's talk about who I called last night, man. I called Spencer Rattler the people's champ. That's what Spencer Rattler is to the Who Dat Nation. He's fastly become the people's champ. The energy around the Who Dat Nation, they love this kid. They love how he played ball. They love his mentality. And they have lifted him up on their shoulders and have dignified him with the term and have made Spencer Rattler the people's champ. And that's it's a very phenomenal and interesting dynamic, because what happens is you have an established 11-year quarterback that is out here that people have. And at this point, a lot of people are saying, I don't know, that it's a lot of pressure to Carr to perform, and to be challenged by a 5th-year quarterback. And a lot of people automatically are pivoting towards Spencer Rattler as the people's champ, as the future of the team. And that's because of everything that the saints have produced, the things that they themselves have done, which is not unjust. See, they got a habit of doing this, and you got to slap them down for doing this. Is that when the people say something, they try to make it seem like you don't know what you're talking about and that you're just being silly. But never that energy goes toward them unless somebody like myself is putting it back on them and calling out the hypocrisies and reminding them of the timeline of stupidity and dumb things that they did that most people forget about. See, we've had years and years of examples. The last couple of years of examples that I can go over. It's a crap timeline that I can go over and then literally break down and dissect and tell people why they feel the way they do about Carr or Dennis Allen or Mickey Loomis. I give you all those examples all the time because they have a disparaging way of looking at you, even though they need your energy and your money, even though they need everything you have. They don't respect you in many regards, and that's the problem. That's why there's a great Saint think tank. But a lot of people out there don't do themselves any good when they support people that don't respect them. See, you are off code, and you are in violation, and that's when stuff start happening bad against you because you're in violation. And usually, when you acting like that, that's when everything start hitting you, and you get looked like it. Because ain't nobody gonna disrespect a person that's all about respect. You're not gonna step to them on that energy. You're gonna get met with force, and you might get trucked on it. They're not gonna play with you because that's not a battle they want to do. It's too much energy to go against somebody when they start hitting you like that. That's how I look at it. Now, the reality is people make mistakes, but in the end, the saints, the family members, the support base is the most thorough sports base in all the professional sports. I've been saying that. Because we'll give you a chance before you even earn the chance, which is a violation. You don't give chances to people that haven't earned that. Well, let's just see what you can do. And if you step up, you measure up, you're good. But I told the family members in the NFC press, NFC roundtable, I was telling them, it was like my brother James from Tampa Bay side of Big Game James from Tampa Bay Buccaneers podcast. Y'all give him a like. And the sub talk, he talks real good about it. You know, he's a former player there. He's like, Cuba, wouldn't you want your quarterback to have those type of attributes? I say, yeah, but everybody else knew the system. He was the only one that didn't. So what the F are you pointing at? Who are you trying to berate and shame? You the only one that don't know it. Everybody else did. So what are you talking about? You should be the most humblest thing in the room. And that wasn't the case many times. It was a wrong rubbing like you. It was the when somebody you meet for the first time and they rub you the wrong way. And you that first encounter that you have with them is your signature mind frame of thought about that person. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You first meet like, oh, no, I don't like that. But they can be totally different. But in your head, that first meeting that wasn't favorable. Listen, let me tell you something right here. There's some little game right here. I remember there was a time when I had a young lady, I brung, this was a while ago that, I brung to, meet my mama and all this kind of stuff, but I ain't gonna get into the particulars of it, but it wasn't as good as it should have been. The meeting didn't go down that well. And then later on, right, as things begin to, as people matured, and later on, such and such came back around. And mom's like, I remember you for something. I said, do you? Oh my goodness. Yeah. And then see, that's that first initial meeting. I'm telling you, that's what you got up here. And boy, does she remember too. Man, I laugh at this stuff, man, because you got to, man. A lot of this stuff is how we learn our lessons, because the older people, man, they know the game. They done been through it all, or they have seen it all. So, I'm a younger dude at the time, so a lot of them seem like they fall head on some stuff. Oh man, yeah, that was funny, man. That was funny, man. All right, but anyway, let's get back to business. All right. All right, but anyway, man, listen. Spencer Rattler, man, listen, the people's champ. And we like I said, I'm talking about Carr because a lot of people don't know, what's going on here, that they hear it outside of the building, but they don't know. And see, the problem is if you don't know, go talk to the people that do know. A lot of these people outside the game, outside of here, they don't know nothing about. They got people talking about the Saints that ain't even Saint people, man. I don't even pay that no mind because if you won't know what's going on with the black and gold, you go talk to the diehards. They tell it like it is. That's where you get the game from. If you ain't getting it from them, you ain't getting it. You heard what I said? If you're not getting it from them, you're not getting it. You talk to the diehards that tell it like it is. And they out here saying, well, this, that, and the third. The reason why Spencer Rattler is the people's champ in my mind, and I've watched this, and listen, y'all know this. When they drafted Spencer, I wasn't excited about that. Y'all know who I wanted to pick up, the other kid. Because I was scouted, I scouted both of them, but the other kid really impressed me. And I was like, man, he was there. They got Spencer. I'm not mad at it, though. I know Spencer got a lot of good stuff going on. We did the play-by-play. He threw the touchdown to Equimia St. Brown, and then he underthrew. He could have had another touchdown, but he underthrew it. I think it was A.T. Perry. If he delayed that ball, but that's some of the stuff I told y'all about when we scouted. I said he got a strong arm, but sometimes he loses the gut. Sometimes the ball dies on some of his throws. That was a clear example on one of them. He's not perfect, but he got work to do. He's a rookie, but he has the intangibles. He has the mindset. The game is not bigger than Spencer Rattler. He's gonna learn the bumps and bruises because he's never been in there before. But the intangibles, the speed of the game, understanding moving parts, guys moving around, the feel for the pocket, knowing ball placement, where to put it at, scrambling, knowing when to play, breaking down and get out of there. And then the biggest thing is accurate on the run. That's where, yes, Jake Hayner beat, because when the pocket broke down, Jake had to move outside the pocket, couldn't make those throws on the run. There were several really good plays that if Jake could have made accurate throws on the run, there would have been big pickups for him. It would have changed the trajectory of that game, made it look a little bit better for him. But Spencer Rattler had no issues throwing outside that pocket, being accurate. The kid got something. He got the energy. And then it's a it factor that he has in the Who Dat Nation see it. They see it. Even so much so that the energy, they're not looking at the starting quarterback. Even though the guy's a 5th round draft pick, it's a very interesting dynamic. It really is. Just watching it. And I'm so pumped because I want to see how it plays out. Because it's an interesting, 5th round quarterback, rookie, 11-year pro, making $150 million. And the issue is the head coach, which is a poll question. I want y'all to answer this poll question. That's why I started the broadcast off. And I said, who will Dennis Allen select as the second string QB? 60% says Rattler. Now I want y'all to read that again, because some of y'all might have hit that button and put Rattler on that because that's who you want. Read that question again and go back and vote. If you read it again, I didn't say who do you want to be the second string quarterback? I said, who will Dennis Allen select? That wasn't like Cube throwing up easy. He throwing up alley-oops in the polls, nowadays. I'm like, no. That poll question says, who will Dennis Allen select? Who he going to be? Well, Q, according to all the information, preseason is over with. Guys should have already earned standings in said depth chart. Once you get a standing, like, okay, you're here, you're here, you're here, you're 1, you're 2, you're 3, you're 4, you're 5, or whatever the case may be. And once you get that, you get your order there, and then the season starts, and then you be about the work of keeping your order and then trying to increase to maybe get more minutes so you can climb whatever group that you're in. You get what I'm saying? But the order of the depth chart should be set because you had plenty of time. You had OTAs, you had involuntary and mandatory. You've had these rookie situations. You've had all of training camp, and you had a full 3-game preseason to figure out who these guys are going to be, and they still competing. Why? Y'all know why. I call it the control matrix. I've been saying this, and I warned y'all before this happened. Before that happened, I warned y'all. I said, hey, man, we dealing with a dude that'll do everything he can to protect this quarterback because he's tied to the hip of this man. He drafted him. And like I said, I like Derek Carr, but the Who Dat Nation has already picked who they're rolling with, and there can't be two of them. Just it's phenomenal. It's so interesting, this whole phenomenal with Spencer Rattler and Derek Carr. He's just a backup quarterback. He has no emphasis. He has no impact on the quarterback. Does he now? Why it's taking so long for the people to decide on who the second string quarter going to be in preseason? Been over with for days now. How do you not even say who it is? How are they still competing? How? Preseason's over with. How are they still competing? It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. The guy didn't throw any touchdowns. Well, you would have had one if old boy wouldn't have done this. Don't matter, bro. All we dealing with, because both of them lost plays because of penalties. Same thing happened. They both operated the same offenses. How is it still a competition at this stage of it? It's not a competition. It's the control matrix. And you shall see, depending on where Dennis Allen places him, you'll see if how bad it is, because it wasn't close. It should be Spencer Rattler. If it's a true competition and not some BS, Spencer won it outright, and it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. So anyway, let's get into these articles right here, man. Saints rookie QB Spencer Rattler massively hyped by NFL expert. Massively hyped, you say. Do you say now? Massively. Saints rookie quarterback Spencer Rattler is one of the most hype points and reasons for hope among family members ahead of week 1. Rattler's impressive summer and preseason behind Derek Carr doesn't have head coach Dennis Allen willing to name him number 2 quarterback on the depth chart. Sure. Why? There's an answer to every question, right? The last major point comes from NFL Films' Greg Cosell, who recently appeared on the Ross Tucker podcast and offered notable Rattler analysis. He said Spencer is one of the most intriguing guys coming out of the draft. I was surprised he was a 5th-round pick. This kid can throw a football. His tape at South Carolina was a little erratic and inconsistent at times. He played behind a fairly poor O-line. He's a very gifted thrower of the football. People may forget he was the number 1 quarterback coming out of high school. Hyped or not, Rattler isn't going to replace a veteran starter like Carr, whom the Saints paid up dearly to get while the organization still hopes to contend. Perhaps the attitude changes later in the season if things are going terribly wrong, but for now, Rattler outcome focuses on 2025 and beyond that point. It's frankly a good problem to have. Not many teams can boast that they have such appealing upside out of a 5th-round pick learning on the sidelines. All right, that's Spencer. And then as we move forward, let's hit this article right here from Clutch Sports. NFL rumors Saints Spencer Rattler plan if Derek Carr struggles, right? Let's see what they're saying here. Could Derek Carr be dethroned as the Saints starting quarterback? While no quarterback controversy exists for the Saints, starter Derek Carr could be under pressure this season. After selecting Spencer Rattler in 2024's draft, the rookie has wowed Saints family members and the front office with his electric on-field play. Granted, this didn't happen during the preseason game, or this did happen rather during the preseason game against second and third string lineups. You do what you got to do with whoever you playing with. Don't matter who it is. You got to show up and show out. It don't matter if it's first, second, or third. If they put you in there to play, you got to perform, which is even more plus. But it was still enough for New Orleans to share that if Carr struggled this season, Rattler could take the reins as a Saints starting quarterback. And it's not, let's just say it like this. That's why, and this is why I'm putting these articles together, because people kind of dismiss it like, oh, he's just a rookie. Oh, man, he's just a rookie. But I told you, I gave Spencer Rattler a mission, didn't I? Didn't we talk about this? Before the preseason, people kept saying, hey, Q, this, that, and third. I said, fam, let's look at it like this about Spencer Rattler. Let's give him a mission. The mission was mission number one. Which was it, fam? Put it in the chat. The first mission for Spencer Rattler was to win the second string quarterback job. That's mission number one for Spencer Rattler. Mission number one was to win the backup quarterback job behind Derek Carr. He had to beat out Haener. Now, Haener and him did really well in practice, but you practice for the games. That's why they have preseason games. When the preseason games hit, Spencer Rattler struggled in the second game, but Jake Haener didn't look no better. Jake Haener had an opportunity like Spencer did in that first game. Spencer had thrown a touchdown. He ran for a touchdown, showed his gumption, ran for a touchdown. He orchestrated a drive that led to the field goal that won the first game. And then in the second game, he struggled. The line broke down. He just got knocked on his ass. He looked like a rookie in that game. But Jake Haener didn't do that farther or much better. Jake Haener didn't throw touchdowns, do none of that stuff in the second game. So he didn't extend himself. If you're looking at the games based on that, game one was Spencer Rattler, right? Game two was none of them because Spencer struggled. He fumbled the ball. I think he had 2 turnovers or something like that. Y'all remind me. I know he had a fumble. I think he had 1 turnover. He fumbled the ball and he got sacked and stuff like that. But he struggled in the second game. But Jake Haener didn't do anything special to separate himself in that game. So it wasn't a win for either. Then the third game was all Spencer Rattler. He threw a touchdown, almost had 2 touchdowns if he wouldn't have underthrew A.T. Perry. And Jake Haener was orchestrating the same offense he was using because they was flip-flopping them. And that's a tough thing to do when you pull out a quarterback and put another quarterback in there and say, okay, go ahead and do your thing. And he, with 2 different units, he's out there moving around, doing it, making plays, right? That's pretty tough to do. And he was able to look pretty good doing it, scrambling around, making throws on the run, doing that. Jake Haener struggled all game. He struggled in the game. Both wide receivers were dropping passes. Bub Means dropped the pass. Witchman's Face dropped the pass. They were dropping passes, but both quarterbacks, but still in all, that didn't stop Jake Haener for throwing the touchdown. That was all Jake Haener with that throw to Equimius St. Brown in the end zone. He put that ball where only Equimius could get. That was not a rookie throw if you think about it, right? That's a veteran throw he stood in there and made. He looked around, seen Equimius, and put the ball where he was running to. That took anticipation, by the way, which he has as well. So I say that. So what I'm saying that is, if things are fair and right, the backup QB job was won by Spencer Rattler. If everything is fair and righteous in the Saints building, and God knows that's not the case, but if Dennis Allen is a fair person and not a snake and not a possum-faced raccoon who backstabs people, if he changed his ways, this would be a good choice to make because it's very easy. Spencer Rattler won the backup job behind Derek Carr. And if he did that, in my estimation, he did based on his play, because he outplayed Jake Haener for the job, then he's the backup quarterback, which means that if Derek Carr not only struggles, but if he gets hurt and can't play, Spencer Rattler going up in that game. The only way this doesn't happen is if Dennis Allen says, we still going to keep Jake Haener will be the backup guy. Or if this could be something too, because he did this before. He can name he could be like, he did co-defensive coordinators. Like he couldn't make the choice between Coach Richard and what's my other guy, man, that went on to Atlanta? And Ryan Nielsen. He couldn't make the choice between Ryan Nielsen and Richard. So he said, hey, both of you guys are defensive coordinators. You're a co-defensive coordinator and you're a co-defensive coordinator. Could that be something foolish that he can, wait, listen, they're both backup quarterbacks. Hey, we can use both of them. If we need to run the play, we'll put his, don't be surprised if you do some craziness like that to avoid naming who the guy going to be. But see, the problem is if he names Spencer as the guy, he knows where that's going to lead because he doesn't want pressure on his quarterback. And what I mean by pressure on his quarterback, he don't want guys, because you know the who that nation, they know y'all, they know who you gonna ride with. And if Derek Carr struggles, if he looks subpar, they're going to be who that's from the stands yelling for Rattler, who's the backup quarterback. You get what I'm saying? And God forbid, for Derek Carr's sake, if something happens to Carr for a couple of games and Spencer Rattler's the guy and he comes in there and he performs well and Derek Carr got to come back to that, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's what the phenomenal nature of all this is. That's what I'm saying. It's really interesting, a very unique dynamic we're watching right now. This is going to make the NFL season for the Saints, so it's going to give it a different flavor, a different flavor dimension, as I call it. It'll be fun. All right, let's finish this one up. We got to keep an eye on this one, says Diana Rossini. And Diana Rossini, I don't know if y'all know Diana Rossini, used to work for ESPN, but she just a ball of energy. I love her stuff. She be saying all these, have great commentary on stuff, and she got this bright-eyed, bushy-tail energy like a Cam Jordan or something like that. It's like she stuck a finger in a socket and just juiced up. Yeah, that kind of thing. I love that energy. But she said, Diana Rossini in the last episode of Scoop City says, I think this is going to be a situation. I'm going to play this for y'all because she's talking to Chase, who's a former New Orleans Saints quarterback, about Spencer Rattler. So let me play this for you guys. Y'all put one in the chat if you can hear this one, baby. Hold on. Here we go.
What's the vibe? They drafted Spencer Rattler. What's the vibe down there in NOLA?
All right. So I'm so glad you used the word vibe because that I love checking with teams this time of year. Just like, what's the vibe? Give me the vibe, And the text I received was from someone in the building, was like, the vibes are really, really high. Capital letters, right? And so, of course, the follow-up question is, wait, is he going to beat out Carr? Or do we have a quarterback on? And it was like, no. But
they said no. There's no quarterback controversy right now.
No, there is not. But Chase, we got to keep an eye on this one. I think this is going to be a situation like the ones that we've talked about earlier in the show, where you have the veteran quarterback as the starter, like we see in New England, we see in Pittsburgh. And then once things go a little weird, could they be calling for the backup? The New Orleans Saints have a really good quarterback situation right now in terms of, if Derek Carr doesn't pan out, they have a lot of confidence in what their backup in Rattler can do.
Yeah. Let's just remember that Caleb Williams replaced Spencer Rattler at Oklahoma, and then Rattler went on to transfer to South Carolina for 22 and 23 season. He was the 5th round pick, 150th overall.
Now, let me add to that, fam. This is another thing to talk about here on that. And that was great juice by both of those guys. But this is the reality, too, that Chase Daniels laid out, too. That's a chip on his shoulder. We talk about Spencer Rattler, the Caleb Williams thing. He has that chip on his shoulder for him being picked in the 5th round. He has a chip on his shoulder. That's another extra motivation for for Spencer Rattler. But this is pretty good, man. She stressed that there's no QB battle between Carr and Rattler. No, that's not what it is. It's not a controversy. It's not that at all. The interesting, like I said before, the interesting dynamic of this Spencer Rattler thing with the Who Dat Nation is that the Who Dat Nation have elected this man as and I call him the people's champ, because that's the energy that I place on. Like I can see, like when you see a groundswell of support base and they just love this kid and what he can do, and they see him like, man, this guy's going to be something special. The Who Dat Nation have made Spencer Rattler the people's champ. That's what kind of energy he's riding on. And don't be fooled. Dennis Allen and them see that. It's not a QB controversy, but they understand what pressure on the quarterback is. It's because of you guys that this is happening, because they know it puts pressure on Carr to elevate his game. I want him to step up and play. I really do. I want Carr to do his thing. And then there was something a couple of people out there was putting out there that they would like to see Spencer Rattler taking his time. And that's traditionally what happens. Like, yeah, Pat Mahomes boys, he took a year behind Smith, Alex Smith. You had Jordan Love behind Aaron Rodgers. And look how they progressed, where they've been able to sit in the same system and mature. I like Derek Carr. I think Carr gives the Saints the best. Well, the best because of his experience to it, saying that his experience, 11 years in the NFL is nothing to spit at, especially a lot of that as a starting quarterback. But it's nothing wrong with pressure. And I akin pressure. Well, I would say it's tantamount to kind of like what's the term I'm searching for? He's called it pressure, but all it is competition. It's competition. That's all it is. They're putting pressure on him because he's sitting there waiting for Carr, and Carr's there. If something happens to Carr, if he gets hurt or if he struggles, because this is a pressure year. He has to play. He has to elevate in that new system and do his thing. Dennis Allen's don't want that. He doesn't want that pressure of the competition of a young quarterback over the shoulder, or Derek Carr looking over his shoulder at Spencer Rattler. He doesn't want him to feel that. That's what this is all about. That's why the call about who the second string quarterback is, man, when you ever known that to happen? Seriously. Go back in the great think tank grand collective and think about when the last time a head coach was afraid or hesitant rather to make a call on who the backup quarterback should be. Huh? When the last time you known that to happen? But you can't stop it, baby. You can't escape the school. Try all you may. It will not work. And I'm waiting to see what that depth chart gonna look like too. I'm waiting to see, baby, what it's gonna look like. Very interesting situation. All right, back to the article. Thinking that a 5th round pick could potentially steal a job from a Pro Bowl quarterback seems unheard of. Regardless, this NFL, man, anything can happen. Carr is no longer at that level of the Pro Bowl quarterback, and Rattler is no ordinary 5th round pick. Carr has become incredibly average in the last few years of his career, put up pedestrian numbers with the Saints last year, threw for over 3,800 yards and 25 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Sounds good, but like I said, sounds good. 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, almost 4,000 yards. Sounds good. But watch the games. It's a difference. But New Orleans barely scrapped out a winning record and missed the playoffs. If Carr continues the mediocre play this season, Rattler could swoop in and take the starting job. Rattler, a former top recruit, had a tumultuous collegiate career, but is oozing with tons of untapped potential. New Orleans could have a franchise quarterback if it can put it all together in its rookie season. So shout out to the writer here. And that's very cool to hear about him, but that's the great dynamic that he represents, and the Saints know it. But the righteous thing is to make him the backup quarterback because he earned it. We're not asking to give him some subsidy. We're not asking for that. Spencer Rattler earned the backup job. It shouldn't be we're still competing. What? How? In practice, you're still competing who the guy? Man, that's just old pigeon talk. That's old Rossum Possum ass stuff. That's possum face backstabby talk. There is no competition going on. Is there still a competition going on for the tight ends? Is there still a competition going on for the running backs? Is there still a competition going on for the cornerbacks? No, everybody's competition, all of that is stopped. Everybody has a role. They have a number. That's what they do. That's how it's built. You're number 1, you're number 2, you're number 3, you're number 4, you're number 5. That's what it was for in preseason, to determine who it is. But while all of a sudden we don't know who the guy going to be, we'll see. But spinning it like this probably end up as the third. That's why I put that question to y'all. Don't answer it like you want them to be. I said answer it how Dennis Allen answers it. Who do you think Dennis Allen is going to say the second string? That's what that poll question is for. All right. So anyway, let's keep it going and bucking, man. Big ups to y'all. All right, Dark Side. So what's up, Dark Side? So I like Rattler. However, this agenda memes is giving me that. Dude, no, dude. Do you know what you just said? No, bro. No, I don't like the hashtag. I ain't gonna be able to lie because that's something else. You know, something else is akin to that hashtag. Something else is is akin to that hashtag. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. No, I don't even need to rename it something else. But in the end, I understand what's going on, man. That's why it's going to grow and big because it's going to continue to grow because the reality is they know the Whodats know what's happening. See, this is the thing. People outside, see, you guys are listening to the Black and Gold. Like, I'm not sitting up here pumping my team up like, yeah, we're gonna beat everybody. And no, I do that. I ain't selling no hopium, playboys. No hopium. All I got, man, is bags of hardcore reality because that's what we need, man. We need gallons of it right now, you know. But like I said, they understand what's going on. They know who Dennis Allen is. They're not a fool. They know who Dennis Allen is. They know how much he loves protecting his quarterback. And protecting your quarterback is okay. But nobody, if you're not doing that for nobody else, you're not trying to protect the wide receivers from people over there. No, you're inviting competition everywhere. You bring in Chase Young and push Cam Jordan down. Cam was the starter. Chase Young comes in and pushes Cam to the bench. He wasn't trying to protect Cam. He wasn't trying to protect Pete Werner. He wasn't trying to protect nobody else gets that treatment. You see what I'm saying? It's a special treatment only Derek Carr gets from his head coach. And it's very obvious. So what happened is based on whoever the call is officially from them or who the backup quarterback is, it'll expose what I'm saying is going on. Righteously, it should be Rattler because he won it outright and wasn't even close. But if he does make the call that Rattler is the backup, the Whodat Nation is going to ride with Rattler. And if Carr struggles, they're going to be yelling from the stands for Rattler. Whether you agree upon it or not, that's what they're going to do. They're going to do it. And is that something new? No, they were doing the same thing when Jameis was here. When he was struggling, they were yelling for Jameis. So is that something new? The only difference is this is a young, exciting kid that has future attached to him that we know with proper training could be very good. So it's going to be, this whole thing creates a whole new energy over the team going into this season. And it's a very welcoming energy, I must say. I got to say that it's a very welcoming energy to get that because I believe in competition. Now, listen, when I say compete like competition, I mean in terms of people having a chance. Like if you have this guy here, because it's obvious a race, right? You got a race going on. I believe in that. If I got Walmart and I got Kmart or Target or whomever, Kmart's gone, but you got Target and different stores that are competing for you, prices stay low. But if you mop up and push everybody out and do the Walmart model and charge everything to be cheap and then it drops, then you have to buy your food from this guy and that guy going to raise that food up twice as what it's worth. But if you got grocers around the stores that have competition, they keep those prices down, that's good for everybody. The only people that don't really vibe on that is the Rockefeller camp because they can't compete in the open market. That's the only time I think that is actually good when you go into a price situation. And besides, the whole model these teams are based on is a race situation, not race in terms of black or white or whatever. I'm talking race in terms of competition, which it was intended to be. You got it. It's it's a competition or a race, or I ain't gonna say it's a game, but it's almost like it's a game. Like whatever you are, if you classify yourself as black or white or whatever, it's a racial caste system. You're crayons in the box, right? You got black color, you got the yellow color, you got the red color, you got the white color. We're a box of crayons. Who made us a box of crayons, right? There was a book that came out many years ago. And in this narrative, it shows each person in their own car. You got the red car, the yellow car, the white car. You see what I'm getting at? And you're on a racetrack, right? Like a Talladega, whatever the case may be. And when the bell or the gun or whatever hits for you to take off your car, you're racing down the lane and you're trying to get to the finish line. Now, what do you get when you get to the finish line? Whatever you're trying to get, whether it's the resources, because it's very, resources are limited, you know? So you're competing for the resources of whatever the race is going to produce. Now, that was the true intention of it until other people took it and turned it into something to make people collide with each other. But it's actually, that's what it is in the simplest form. It's a competition for the limited resources. Some people get more of them and others don't. Some of us don't even realize that we're in a competition. So in some competition, when you blow out a flat tire and you're in the black car, don't expect any of the other cars to pull over and help you change your tire. It don't work like that. They're going to pass you right up to see if they can get them resources. That's what's happening. So you simplify it. But in football lingo, this is the same essence, because you see these guys competing for money, position. Because if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you end up in the street. You know, you don't get the opportunity. You go somewhere else, or you don't have a job. You see what I'm saying? You end up not getting a job. So they compete to get the starting spot. Okay, you did this, you outplayed this guy. That means you're here. You have to outplay this guy to get there. You're here. So that's what it is. But when you $50 million quarterback, many quarterbacks don't like the idea of looking over their shoulder. Tom Brady didn't like it. That's why they traded Jimmy Garoppolo. He did not want Garoppolo over his shoulder. Bill Belichick wanted to keep Jimmy Garoppolo. Tom Brady forced them to trade that man. It forced them to trade him. Some quarterbacks don't want somebody over their shoulder. And that's what Dennis Allen is trying to do. He's trying to protect Carr by not having Rattler over his shoulder, looking over his shoulder, even though Rattler's a rookie. Well, he's just a rookie. He can't do anything. It's not the point. It's not about Spencer Rattler, fam. It's about the people that's behind Spencer Rattler, the Who Dat Nation. It's about what they think. I'm just saying, in the energy, that it's going to be a groundswell of energy that washes over the Saints with Spencer Rattler. They ain't going to be able to do nothing with it. They ain't going to be able to do nothing with it. I'm telling you. And that's that justice. That's that justice. Because one way or the other, you get rid of Jameis, you do all this other stuff, get rid of all these people. You drop Nate Peterman off 2 weeks before the start of the first preseason game. You have two young, inexperienced quarterbacks there. You thought Jake Haener was going to be the man. And he ain't the man. It's Spencer Rattler. So this is an interesting dynamic, man. And let me tell you something. I absolutely love it, man. I ain't going to tell y'all no lie. I love this. Because it should make us get the very best car that we can get. It should make us, it should promote Carr, because he plays his best football that way. If you think about it, like when he's with Chucky, when he's with John Gruden and with the Raiders, those years when he threw for over 4,000 yards, like 3 years straight in the seasons. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dark Side. But he threw 3 years straight of 4,000 yard seasons. Under Chucky. Chucky was a taskmaster. Chucky would be on him. He would be telling them, hey, man, you going to do, you know. And he obviously operates better with somebody providing that same type of energy. I'm not saying Clint Kubiak does that, but I'm saying when you as a $150 million quarterback and you're the top guy and you got people calling from the stands, number one, they can't be mad if they're calling from the stands. Then you're doing something wrong as a QB. Now, if you're out there throwing touchdowns, you're winning games, people are not going to be yelling for Spencer Rattler if the Saints are winning. They'll be cool on that. But they're only yelling from the stands if he's not producing, if he's messing up, stuff like that. And I actually think this will be good for the team, because we need that extra motivation. The team needs that extra motivation to step up. Now, listen, that's where I see that it works. It works there in that model. it does work in that situation, but I don't see much use for it anywhere outside of anything else. And in certain other aspects in your life, I don't think that it is valid, because if you're competing with somebody, you think you're competing with somebody outside of that, like if you're in a controlled situation, that's just said like that, then it does work to a degree, like with a football team, stuff like that, that you actually know who you're going up against, and it's a structured situation. But in many cases outside of that, I don't think it works very well, because it'll drive you down and you can't really seriously see everything that whoever you're trying to compete with outside of the control structure is doing. They might have more money than you. They might have more resources than you. They might have more experience than you. They might be clicked in some kind of way than you. You don't know none of that. So it's a different thing. That's why I said that don't apply in unstructured situations, in my estimation, in my opinion. But in a control situation like that, I think it definitely is. It works. We see that it works. All right, but anyway, let me keep it moving, man. Shout out to y'all, man. We got over 200 people in this thing. Y'all hit that poll, man. Tell me what y'all think right now. Who will Dennis Allen select as the second string QB? 57% people say Rattler. 57% of the Who Dat Nation, the Great Saint Think Tank, believe that Dennis Allen will make Spencer Rattler the second string quarterback. If I didn't, if I'm in that poll, because I didn't vote, but I would have to say, I would have to vote. I'm a vote for Hainer. I voted for Hainer. That's what I think he gonna do. All right, thank you, Dark Side, bro. At least I'm coming out. Yeah, that's your history, bro. Hopefully I'm all right with it. But he says correct. Q Carr likes to be Coach Tard. Kubiak is more like Chucky than DA or Stinky Pete. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you there. Yeah, I knew it was like 3 straight years of fourth. That was the best years he was throwing the ball, because Chucky is similar to Coach Payton. We often seen, with Coach Payton would walk around in the building. Cam Jordan talked about that. Cam talked about Sean Payton and players in the organization. He said walking on eggshells. I remember him. Cam said he used those words, that we were walking on eggshells when Sean Payton was there. Sean Payton was the alpha dog. He was the guy there, and he made it difficult on his players. And, I don't think DA he's definitely not that personality, but if you're a person that lacks a lot of that, you have to know what you're lacking and hire guys to do it. And I think that's what, like I said earlier in the show about Mickey Loomis hiring Randy Mueller back after all of these years, hiring him back in an advisor role or whatever it is. And I really do believe, I think that is to do some of the stuff that he didn't do in the last couple of years. So they sitting up there listening to us say, you got to do evaluations. And he probably ain't doing evaluations in so long, he probably forgot how to do them. Well, all right. I mean, think about that here. How do you do in-season evaluations? Well, oh, good golly gosh, I forgot how to do it. Let me hire Randy Mueller. That's an idea. Let me bring him in here. Oh, so I mean, it's just whatever, man. But y'all see shit happening, right? Y'all see it, right? Y'all see it, man. Y'all see it happening. I'm telling you, all this stuff we talked about, fam, how it's happening the same year, and we've been talking about this. I was talking about Randy Mueller yesterday, and then the Saints signed him today. What's going on here? What's going on here, family? What's going on? What's happening? What's going on? What's happening? Well, Big Belly says, Q, I just seen on Twitter, apparently AK put his home up for sale. You got to be kidding, bro. Well, then again, people say, hey, man, they said the same thing about Anthony Davis. I remember that. Yeah, well, Anthony Davis just bought a house in Los Angeles. Well, that don't mean nothing. Players have homes all over the country. The next thing you know, he going to Los Angeles. It's crazy, man. Hold on, let me see, bro. You said on Twitter, Elvin Kamara put his home up for sale. Are you serious? Big Valley, you dropping some game there, my brother? Hold on, let me see here. That ain't good news. That's the case. All right, hold on here. Let me see if I can share that with the family members, brother. That's a good piece of news, man. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. Who is there any valuable people that's saying this? Because it looked like it just happened, right? Is this just happening? Yeah, about an hour ago, according to this tweet here. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look this up, bro. Because it's not, and from what I'm seeing right now, I'm gonna have to take some time to kind of look this up because it's not coming from people that I'm familiar with this kind of news. I'm not familiar with who these people are, so I'm gonna just have to wait and see on that. But I see one person put this up, and I don't know how credible they are, so I'm not gonna talk on it. But thank you for the information, bro. I'm gonna have to look that up, man. That's just being responsible. All right, Hemisphere says Hayner hasn't shown he can bring practice to the games. They did say y'all please feel free, family, if y'all have any questions. I'm sorry. Please feel free to throw them in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. Shout out to you guys. Thank you, man. We're well over 200 deep tonight on Friday. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all, man, for being here. Give me a who dat, and I give you a who dat back. I'm big on, giving shots out to my people in the building. A lot of people don't want to do that, but they wouldn't be shit if it wasn't for you. Let me tell you something. They'd be talking to themselves. But I believe in giving respect what respect's due, and I've been doing this for a very long time. So I'd be sitting up here talking to myself if it wasn't for you. He said, "Oh, this guy got one guy in the stream and he laughing to himself." I ain't gonna lie, I'll be having fun though. All right, big ups to you, man. All right, Hemisphere says Hayner's shown he can bring practice to the games. They did say AT isn't that good at practice. Hayner's practice well, but disappears in the games. Yeah, that's interesting, bro, because he didn't look good in the practice games, and that's a big part. You could be a practice squad warrior all you want, but when it come down to it, you do the practice for the games, and he didn't show up. So, like I said, I still like Jake Hayner, but facts are facts. Spencer Rattler outplayed that man, bro. And that's what it's all about. He earned the second job. He should get it. Shouldn't be politics. But Dennis Allen, once again, he plays in that energy. And he really doesn't care. And that's the thing that's crazy about it. It's like, man, mentally speaking, you can't do that. Like if you sit up here and you say, listen, the best player earns the job, you can't then double back on some fakeness and say, oh, this, that, and the third, or spin it. See, that's fake. And that's that off code shit that will create fractures and cracks. And why people don't like Dennis Allen? Because of fakeness like this. It's not a competition. It wasn't close. Name it, say it. And that's the whole thing. That's the thing that creates fractures and fractures. This is what he did to the team last year. Oh, the players don't. And they were blaming the players. I'm like, how people have such a low opinion of the players. The Saints have a low opinion of you. They only come to you when they want to sell tickets. They ain't trying to give you no goddamn discounts. They don't say it's free for you to park or give you free concessions. You spent $300 million. You spent almost $1 billion since Katrina to renovate the Superdome. They done tore out a lot of portions of the roof and put lighting in there, tore up a lot of the little escalators and put new shit in there. They expanded the concourses and did all this stuff to add more venues to sell you shit. And then they ain't talking about dropping the prices of the food. The prices of the food still high. The park is still high. Your car's getting broken into. Where the money for the security at? What the hell? You see what I'm saying? It's insane, but you don't get anything from it. You don't get anything from it. Well, you just go down there and watch your Saints play. Nah, it don't supposed to be like that, man. If you've taken all of this, you're supposed to get an added benefit. You're supposed to get discounted. You're supposed to get at least half discounted on your tickets and all that. None of that happened, man. None of that, because we don't handle it like we're not handling business, man. You can't ask people that's banking out to make money and they greedy to say, hey, man, stop being greedy and get the money back. They don't have any incentive to give you anything if you ain't demanding nothing. You're not going to get nothing if you don't say nothing. Then you got to stand on it. And the way you win, you call out the hypocrisies. That's how we do it. You know, that's you stand on it and you be unmoved. And all of this will change. I said that about the Saints, like, and it's greed the Saints got going on there, man. You know, all this stuff. And it's that, like I'm just saying, in the long run, it's a code people we supposed to live by. And some of these other people don't live by the code. That's why you spank their ass with how you act. Like, we not okay, you don't understand how we get down, get this. Watch this. Watch we take this money away. Well, if we don't show up to your games. They'll get right. They'll start doing that shit automatically. They'll drop them food prices. They'll drop them. There's all that money they get anyway. They don't pay for the. I mean, we'll even get into it, fam. It just pisses me off every time I think about it. But if we need to elevate mentally, man, we'll get a lot more. I would dare say you would get money back from these teams because it's your money that's making them make money. How they making money off of you and you ain't getting nothing back but the privilege of watching the Saints play in the Dome that you got to pay for tickets to go and see and pay for all that shit in there. How you getting anything? It ain't supposed to work like that, man. Just telling you the truth. All right, Mick says Dennis just doesn't have that fire even when he's frolicking. Yeah, frolicking. Yeah, he on the cloud. Yeah, I call him floating on the cloud. That's what I say. He looks harmless. Yes, indeed. All right, Jason, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Dr. Drew, how you doing, sir? Backwoods. All right. Hoffa says, Bug. He says he's oh, yes, indeed. Show me. Yes, hashtag show me. There you go. His face said, do you see DA losing it and grab someone face mask to prove a point? I don't think he's going to do that. Dennis Allen is anti-confrontational. Y'all seen when Arthur Smith was approaching him like 20 yards away and was cussing at him and fussing at him, and he cussed the whole way, cussed up to him, cussed during the time, just kept cussing him, and Dennis Allen didn't get in any aggressive stance like any man would. I don't care if you know, whatever, however you feel, you know, this is the NFL. If you didn't like what I was doing, you should stop me. If you can't stop me, then you don't need to be a coach. And if you cussing and fussing, you about to get your issue coming up to me fussing and cussing. That ain't going to work. Now, Darren Rizzi, the special teams coach, was cussing and fussing back at him. But Dennis Allen walks up to the man and grips both sides of his stomach. I've never done that in my life. Walk up to a man that's fussing and cussing and grip both sides of his stomach and then tell him he's right. Man, are you crazy? Are you crazy? No, man, he wasn't right. The point is you have to stop me. And if you can't stop me, you don't need to be the coach then. He would have done the same thing to you if he was in the same situation. They would have done the same thing. It ain't no love there. You beat the team. And if what you had done would have been illegal, then flags would have been thrown. That's why I was telling people, and people, hey man, Q, you don't do that. That was a violation. That was a punk ass thing to do. I'm like, shut up. There was no flags thrown because it wasn't an illegal play. That was a handshake agreement between teams. If it's not illegal, then you can do it. Shut up with that. I'm like, that's the history of the game. You don't do that to people. I said, was any flags thrown? Oh, well, it's not illegal. Well, shut up. Shut your ass up. Shut your ass up. What are you talking about here? It wasn't illegal. Flags wasn't thrown when the Saints did it. Did it? Oh, well, no. It's not illegal. It's just we don't do it. Man, shut up. Shut your ass up. Shut up. Oh, man. No, I don't see that, brother, happen. Swagger says Dennis Allen walking up and down sidelines with his arms folded, looking like a disappointed mom. Y'all wrong. Don't do that to the moms. Don't do that. What's up, Mr. O? How you doing, brother? I seen your comment, brother. Oh, man. Appreciate that comment, man. Much love to you, my brother. Thank you, man. All right, L-Dub, big ups to you, man. Chemisphere says, do you see Kubiak lose it in grass? Kubiak? Oh, so you switched Dennis Allen to Kubiak. No, I don't see that happening at all. That ain't even his vibe of energy. Absolutely not. That's not his vibe of energy. That's not how that man operates, man. I don't see that. What's up, brother Crush? How you doing, bro? Good to see you in the chat, man. Brother Robert, how you doing, man? Good to see you, fam. Appreciate you. All right. What's up, Barbara? How you doing, Queen? Good to see Barbara in the building, man. Much love to you, girl. All right. Big ups to the rest of y'all, man. Brother Richard says, hey, guys, hit the like button. Yes, please hit the like button, family. Thank y'all, man. Hit the like button. T-Roy, what's happening, fam? Is there any way the team can bring back Michael Thomas? I don't know, bro. I don't know about them bringing Michael Thomas back. I don't think Thomas plays. I think he's still banged up. Of course, he's suspended after the first week, as we covered earlier in the show, but I don't think Michael Thomas is going to play right away. I think he's still hurt right now. That's why he hadn't got really any trials. Nobody's tried out Michael Thomas to my knowledge. There have been no reports on him trying out for any teams. I think he's still rehabbing. I think it's like a timeline in his head where he might make himself available to teams probably several weeks into the season when guys start getting banged up and Michael Thomas start getting his picks and chooses of where he wants to go, and where he wants to go to help out. It could be something like that. I think it would probably be something like that. All right, Backwoods say the man zesty. Man, the man got a wife and 3 children, I want to say. Then again, I ain't saying much nowadays. You're old man. His lifestyle says Sean Payton would have gave Arthur a case of beats now. Yeah, indeed, man. You ain't gonna walk up and coach, but he wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have coached. He wouldn't have cursed at Payton. He know he wouldn't have been able to do that, man. He wouldn't have been able to put that together. You know who you can do that with. That's the whole point of the matter. All right, my boy Hoffa says, do y'all see us losing another important game because of safety play, Marcus Williams? I mean, bro, listen. Jordan Howden's in his sophomore year. So we know when you're usually in sophomore year, some of these guys struggle. Not everybody, but Jordan Howden's in sophomore year. And we'll have to see, fam, because I still think the Saints have a move up the sleeve in terms of the secondary. We'll see. I think Jonathan Abrams' work, he did really well last year. I don't know about Marcus Williams, the Saints bringing in Marcus Williams or something like that. I find it kind of difficult to believe that the Saints have Jonathan Abram and Ugo Amadi as safeties or DBs on the practice squad. And yet they're going to go into free agency and bring somebody that don't know their system and bring them back and throw them in there. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's how it's going to play. We'll have to see, bro. Jermaine says, Q, what you doing for the LSU game? I'm going to be live streaming the LSU game, bro. I'm going to be doing play-by-play on the LSU game, bro, just to let you know. That's on Tough Tiger Talk. Another one of our channels, Sports Coma, a PRO Media Network. That's also the Pelican Post-Game Report for our New Orleans Pelican people. LSU station, which is Tough Tiger Talk, and the other station is Ring Kings Boxing, which is I do a lot of boxing content. So I'm always doing something if I'm not here. But yeah, I'll be on that LSU game for doing the play-by-play against USC. It's going to be fun, bro. All right, Bullet Family Travel Vlog says, if y'all see DA looking into space on the sideline during the season opener, y'all just know we're in trouble. Okay. And I know just the look you talking about, man. I seen just that look. All right, Jason says, y'all think they're going to boo Peyton when we play? Oh, yeah. I think, yeah. Well, the thing is, did Sean Payton leave bad? Sean Payton didn't leave bad. Come to think about it, did he? He didn't leave bad. So I don't think the family members are going to, they'll applaud Sean Payton. That's his first time being back, coming to New Orleans in an opposition role, in the op role. But I don't think they boo Coach Payton. We got love for Coach Payton. But, when you start playing and listen, that's going to be we can't undersell Denver, fam. Listen, we can't undersell Denver in that game because that'll be a short week game for the Saints. I'm going to have to look at Denver's schedule to see how they look if they play on the same day and they have a short week as well, like they play that Sunday, and I'm going to have to look at it. But that's a short week game for us because we play, I think if I'm not mistaken, we have who we got? Tampa Bay, I want to say. Let me pull up my schedule here. Hold on, fam. Let me see. Because I think we got Tampa that week. Might be off on that. Let me see. I want to say that before that Buccaneers game. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got Tampa. We got Tampa Bay. We in the Dome, October the 13th, and then Thursday, October the 17th on the short week, we got the Broncos. So we got the Broncos on the short rest in the Dome. Let me do some. Let me see what the Broncos, what they schedule, who they got before that game. Hold on, fam. Let me do a little quick look at something right quick. Let me see who they play. Okay, it's the same thing. All right, so it's October the 13th. All right, so then I was trying to see where their schedule was. They got the Chargers October the 13th, and then they play the Saints on the 17th. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there you go. All right, so it's the same thing. Hold on, let me make sure. What time is that game? Okay, Saints is 12 p.m. noontime on October the 13th against Tampa. Let's see. The Broncos might be an afternoon game. Hold on, let me just make sure, fam. I just want to do some quick research to make sure that just to make sure. Trying to make sure, see where we are in terms of all of that, man. To see where they play, what time they play. Okay, the game. Hold on here. The Chargers game is 3:00. So okay, so the Saints play October the 13th at 12:00, right? That's the game before the Thursday game. The Saints play at 12. The Broncos play at 3. So the Saints get into their rest a little earlier than the Broncos. So that's what I'm thinking about there. I'm trying to put the timing together to see, because some of that matters at times, you know what I mean? But I think we'll be good on Coach Payton. I think people are clear. It'll be good to see Coach Payton out there. What's up, Jamie? Good to see you, man. All right. He says Dennis Allen don't have a backbone to get mad. He's too nice like that, and I'd rather have Drew Brees head coach. Thank you. Appreciate you, Jamie. All right. Yeah. Bob O'Connor said, man, this man got 5 shows. This man crazy. That's crazy. Bro, I've been doing that for years, man. That ain't nothing new, brother. Ask some of the family members, man. I've been doing this for years, man. I've been doing it for years. Yeah, there ain't nothing new, bro. I've been doing it for years. 4 years. Yes. All of that. I've been doing that for years, and then still do other stuff too. And still do, we run the full, still run a full sports website. All of that, man. We got contributors, all that, fam. So yeah, all of that. WhoThatDaily.com, all kind of other stuff, fam. I just be at it, man. So yeah, it's a lot going on, man. What's up, Ro? Shout out to you. Good to see you, Ro. Richard says if Marcus Williams would have had a Tyrann as mentor, Tyrann Mathieu as a mentor, things would be different. All right. Would it be different? Yeah, I could see that. But that was such a horrible whiff tackle. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen, man. And Marcus Williams, that kind of was over his head his whole tenure. Hemisphere said, just make sure we don't have any juicy fruit that week. Bubblegum experiment. Oh, Peyton bringing it all, baby. Remember Peyton used to have a guy, when he run out of gum, he had the guy that would hold the wire, that, the guy follows Coach Payton around with the wire. And I was like, why you don't have a wireless headset? Had a guy that would just walk behind Coach Payton holding the wire for his headset. I remember one time he turned around to the guy because he was out of gum, and the guy gave him some gum. So I guess he's a spare gum guy too. What's up, brother Crusher? How you doing, sir? He says, I would like to be there to see that. Robert, what's up, Robert? Said, I'm out here in Denver. My son was born out here, but he's all set. Okay, that's great, man. Big ups to you. All right. Thank you. No, shout out to you, 504. Appreciate you, man. Hoffa says, can Peyton beat Dennis Allen's defense? Is going to be interesting. Yeah, it'll be fun to watch, man. It'll be fun to watch. But I caution family members to watch out for Sean Payton's offense there, because even though he has that rookie and Mims, I think his name is Mims. Is it Mims? I forgot the damn man name, man. I scouted the man. He was at Auburn. He went up to Oregon. And the dude did a lot of positive stuff, to be honest with you. Bo Nix, there you go. Thank you, Barbara. Where did I get Mims from? What's going on with me? I must be tired. I said Mims. Bo Nix. That is so not Mims. That's Jordan Mims. Key, what you talking about? Jordan Mims. That's a little bit of the side effect when you do a lot of shows. You start messing up shit. It's crazy. Q, you got the quarterback. Yeah, man, we're gonna be going against Mims. Quarterbacks. Like, what you talking about, dude? My bad, brother. Oh, yeah. Bo Nix is the quarterback, Q. All right, there you go. All right. Soul Visionary. Say thank you, Barbara. All right. Soul Vision History says bunch of Saints on the practice squad. Indeed. All right. Richard says I love Peyton, but Saints family members are thinking, what if Peyton had this roster? Oh, wow. Yeah. That's why they boo. He left us, but I think that this is a better opportunity than Denver. His wife wanted home. Yeah. Yeah. I think Coach Peyton, well, Bill Parcells told him he stayed longer than what he was supposed to. Bill Parcells would say he's supposed to only be somewhere for a certain period of time. That's why Parcells moved around like a NFL nomad. But Sean Payton, I think he got kind of bored. He got everything he wanted to be here except to be general manager. I think that was probably the only thing to be able to go and get his own players. And he really didn't need to become the general manager here because Mickey Loomis would basically do whatever he wanted to do, get new players or whatever. And I think at some point, Coach Payton just got kind of bored with it, and he would experiment. He would go and get players and try to turn them into this just to kind of see if he can do it. Some of that stuff he did, I think it was because he was bored. You know what I mean? Like, why did he do that? Why did you do that? Why you do that? Like he went the thing that we still dealing with outside of the Dennis Allen stuff is, what happened with Cesar Ruiz and McCoy. Like he wanted to make McCoy a guard. That was his intention. His intention was to move McCoy to the right guard position. That's what he wanted to do and make Cesar Ruiz the center. And the only reason that wasn't a factor today is because Sean Payton scrapped the experiment because Ruiz got hurt. Because we was covering like, why is he drafting this guy? This is a bad call to do this. You're going to draft a young center in front of Drew Brees, and Drew Brees can't even move out of harm's way. Why would you do that? And that's what my complaint was, leaving this assumption. Of course, he got hurt during the year, and my fears were found in my upset. That's why I was upset. I was like, man, sometimes these dudes be breaking the fundamental rules, like stuff like that's football fundamentals, football 101. You don't go and get no rookie center, and you got a quarterback who runs like his feet in quicksand. We talking about an advanced age Drew Brees. We ain't talking about a little young Drew that can move out of the way. We talking about Drew that was running like his feet was in quicksand. Drew, he couldn't get out of harm's way. And that was just a curious decision. But Ruiz was supposed to be the center. He wanted Ruiz to be the center, and Ruiz got hurt. That year he started it off. He said, "Yeah, we're gonna try Ruiz." Then he changed it and said, "Oh, we're gonna let McCoy. I'm gonna give McCoy some more chances to do it." And then I was like, "I thought you said you was gonna do Ruiz. Why were you seen enough of McCoy? What are you doing?" Then he switched it. Then put McCoy in there. Then McCoy was doing good. Then he got hurt, and they scrapped the whole goddamn thing. And then it is what it is today. That's how it went. I think a lot of what he was doing because he was bored. He was bored. All right. Yeah, Aiden says Bo Nix is and Rattler looking better than Carl. Yeah, I seen some of Bo Nix's stuff, man. During the preseason, it was all right. All right, Rose says, I'm married for 39 years. You ain't getting rid of me. Judge Mathis said he trying to get his wife back. Damn, I've been hearing about that, man. Might have to talk about that on the show. But Judge Mathis, man, what is going on in society today? Well, see, that's insane, man. I ain't gonna say, well, because just everybody's situation is a little different, but what's the overall mentality and mindset of society, like in relationships nowadays? The society is overly degenerate. Like if you got a bunch of people that don't even like, if you got a good relationship, no relationship is perfect. Like, you know what I'm saying? But as a man or a woman, and in my case, and as a man, I have to know that deep and down and have discipline in myself I'm talking about, when I talk about discipline, I'm covering the full spectrum. We talking about spiritual discipline. We talking about physical discipline, sexual discipline, all of that, that I can't then go get a bunch of women and go be moving around like this. Number one, that's extremely dangerous because they got shit out here right now that they can't even put a name to. Hell, they got stuff going on right now that I could tell y'all about that is going on that's knocking these people off, and they saying it's cancer and it's not cancer. There's stuff going on right now like they did a couple years ago when they was putting all this up and make you stay home and all that bullshit. They got several things going on right now that they're not even telling you about. These people ain't serious about nothing. And that's what it's designed to do. It's genetic and it's all tied in. So if you are and then a lot of it was tied to where they move. Like these Hollywood people are the worst. You want to talk about the seed of degenerate filth? That Hollywood, man, how we looking up to these people with that nonsense? These people are. I don't want to talk about nobody, but my goodness, man. And these are who we looking to, these people? Man, they got people trying to tell you, I ain't going to even jump into it. I ain't going to even get off into it. But it's insane, man. They got people running around out here. You girl, you don't need him. And she don't have nobody. And them people, you don't know them people history. They've been together for years. Everybody got to work through some stuff. You got to work. You got to negotiate and talk. It's a give and a get. It's a give and a get. It got to talk. You got to talk. And a lot of that stuff you hear, you got to throw that shit out because it's meant to tear you up. That's why all this stuff is, all these breakups and all these divorces at all-time high. You think that's just a coincidence? All that's just designed. They don't like families. Everybody got a broken family, and everybody take a broken family and put a broken family together with another broken family. It's like, what? When did we start it? When did this become such a thing? Majority of people all have everybody got broken families. Like, how did we get here? I see people blaming people for finances, for financial situation. Well, he ain't got no money. He's such and such, all this kind of stuff. And the man don't even control the shit that's going on out there. He a victim just like you. He can have all the accreditations and diplomas in the world. And don't y'all know they got people that got master degrees and they're homeless? Come on now, man. These people full of it, man. It's all a big old show. It's very strange, man. That needs to be deciphered and broken down, man. It's crazy out here, man. It's crazy, man. People are just, I don't know. You have people, staying grounded, understanding limitations, which you need to work on, understanding that usually the person at fault the majority of the time is the person in the mirror. Understanding that if you don't like who you're drawing, it more than likely it's the person in the mirror. You get what I'm getting at? Fixing that. Like those character issues. Nobody can fix character issues except for you. Nobody can do it for you. But to do it, you have to figure out what's going on. And maybe you don't. You got to get with somebody you trust, man. But I'm just saying, man, it is incredible. With a lot of the stuff that I be hearing out here, stuff be coming across like, are you serious? Is somebody playing the tricks, playing games? They just doing stuff with views? Man, please, man. Wow. But I'm telling you, I ain't lying to y'all, man. They got stuff out right here, fam. I'm gonna have to drop it on y'all on QB. I'm gonna cover some stuff, man. They got stuff out here, them people telling you it's cancer and it ain't cancer. Just keeping it real. But the degenerates are dying. The heathens are dying in silence. Let me tell you something, fam. Look how I'm bucking these eyes for y'all ass right now. The degenerates is it's a party over here. And the degenerates are dying in silence. Did you get me on that? It's all a lie, baby. It's all a dirty, rotten lie. They're all dying in silence. And a lot of them trying to take you with them. This is game. You better protect yourself, man. I'm talking about spiritually, mentally, physically. You got to ask the right questions, man. It's a whole new world. It's stuff going on, fam, that people not even aware of. And it's like ducks on a shooting range. Telling you, man, it's real out here. It's real out here. All these people going, and it ain't what they telling you it is. I'm keeping it real. So anyway, man, listen, I'm gonna get ready to get out on that. KT says, why did we bring Mueller back? To help out Slick Mickey. Slick Mickey need help. Slick Mickey can't keep on KT. You scared that man. You was in Rouse's with him. He had to go get Randy Mueller, bro. He had to go get Randy. He needs some backup. He needs a little backup on that. All right. 504 says the man needs the woman needs the man, especially hey, man, listen, bro. God made the man and the woman, man, and man half, woman half. Man was possessed. He gave the man the gift of logic. He gave the women the spirit, the emotional, and the emotional side of things. And you put the two together, you get it. Two halves make a whole. That's why it's an effort to keep couples apart. They don't like families. Why? Because there's power in that. You can't, if you have a strong family that don't buy into BS, they don't buy, because they constantly trying to brainwash you. They're always playing divide and conquer. They play it with the politics. They play it with everything. That's the only way they win. They got to keep you at odds. They got to keep you fighting. And they attack you, your family, they attack you at your children. Tell them that with your spiritual stuff that you're teaching, that's old and antiquated. Then give them old and antiquated Satanism, Luciferianism, all that foolishness. Old world stuff. All that, man. It's weird, man. It's very weird. But if you telling your children, I tell my children, man. I tell them, because if you strong, listen, fam, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna go. Game. If you strong and you don't go for the okie doke, you'll get people around you, not just strangers, because you're not crazy enough to let people you don't know be around you. Sometimes they'll use your friends, they'll use your family members, they'll use your co-workers to come at you on some stuff. And if they ain't strong, they'll go through them to get to you, to throw you off center. You just gotta watch it, man. You just gotta watch it, man. It's constant. It's constant. It's constant, man. That's why I'm saying it's dangerous out here, fam. And that's why in a degenerate society, people out here dying and lying. Dying and lying. That's two things. I need to write a book called Dying and Lying, because that's what they're out here doing. They dying and lying. These people out here operating all kind of weird ways that you ain't supposed to be doing. You ain't supposed to be doing all that stuff out there because it's unhealthy. And then these demons got all these germs and all this stuff, and people dying and lying. dying and lying, man. It ain't going out the way they were supposed to, fam. You gotta watch it. Watch it. You've been warned, fam. You've been warned. You've been warned. All right. Richard says he's been married 24. Oh, congratulations. Rich, all our long married people out there, congratulations to you, man, because that's really a rare thing nowadays, man. We being warred upon. He said he was married 25 years ago. We were young, but I wanted to keep it. But this side is pushing change it. He says pushing change it is not worth it. Love your family, cherish it. Is a blessing. I lost my job. She wanted security. Yes. And like I said, fam, please be. And if any of these words reach into my ladies and the guys out there, please understand that the society in which you live, you do not own. You don't own it. You don't run it. Somebody else does. And they don't like what you like. A lot of the guys, a lot of a man, this is just talking from a man perspective, this old school, a lot of a man's thought process, heart, and everything that's true and core to him as a provider is tied to his ability to provide. But what happens in a society where the provider can't provide, when he's not in the position, you see what I'm saying? That he doesn't control the things in the society that somebody else controls, the financial strings to manipulate the economy. He doesn't control that. So if he working two jobs and trying to do what he got to do to try to, provide. So they cut the money down. They bring in inflation like it's an invisible monster. Inflation ain't an invisible monster. That's a committee of people, man. That's another thing they try to get away with. Inflation is not just something that happens with the money, like it's a spooky force that comes and just start, here goes the rising. No, that's a committee of people deciding how the money gonna go up, man. The price is going, that's a committee of people. Ain't got nothing to do with no invisible inflation. That's a committee of people that's deciding that. So if they're raising your dollar up and the man can't provide, they bring the woman out, because back in the day, the ladies used to take care of the children. And that was done because the women take care of the children, raise and teach the children, the man provide. That was the family structure. Now that the money done changed, it forced both the people to come out of it to provide. And as a result, who's watching the children? So you got the children going this way because both parents are trying to make a living to support the child. And then if it really goes bad, they split over finances. Things get a lot stressful. And then you have a broken family. And then if it gets extreme, depending on the moral fiber of the person, might end up going to drugs, getting drug addicted because he not support. And I'm telling you, all this is tied to the ability to provide financially for his family. Is tied to his sense of who he is as a man. And if you take that from him, he might crack. Some do turn into drug addicts because they can't handle the pressure. They can't provide for their family, and that's a real thing that happens. And you got this, and that's how it happens. That's why a lot of the impoverished environments throughout the country is, with poor people, this didn't happen. It was a situation that occurred when economic depression happens or depravity happened to a certain area. And then all of a sudden people had to move around, and then it looks like a war zone. You see all that stuff happen. That would happen to where I come from in the lower Ninth Ward. Economic deprivation is a weapon. It's not some invisible force that happens. They play with your money. They play with your family. They play with your mind. They play with your body. They play with everything. That's why you can't play with them. You gotta rise up and resist. You ain't got nowhere else to run. You can't let them take no more from you. You got to stand up. You got to reclaim your families. You got to reclaim your sanity first. You got to know who you fighting before you start fighting. What your enemy look like? Do you know who your enemy is? Do you know their techniques and tactics? Do you know that before you throw a fist, you put a fist up to throw a punch? Do you know who you're punching at? I'm just asking some questions. Just saying, fam, about that time. But anyway, listen, I'm going to leave y'all on that. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all, man. I really do. I thank y'all, man, for who y'all are and what y'all are, man. I hope some of these words, entertainment and life, reach you whole and help. Because a lot of you guys help me. I read your comments all the time. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate y'all support. And yes, we in this thing, man. We the saints. I guess I could say that's why we got the good word, because we the saints, right? Etymology. It just tells you, right? It's the saints. You're gonna come with the good word, baby. Baby, we gonna come with the good word, baby. We gonna talk that truth, baby. We gonna come with the good word, baby. We the saints, baby. Ain't we the saints? We the saints, baby. We gonna come with the good word, baby. Gonna come with the good game. All right. So with that being said, man, y'all have a fantastic weekend, man. I don't know if I'm gonna be popping up on Saturday stream. I got a few things to do. I might pop in for a little bit to talk to you guys if something interesting happened, something like that. I know we got the LSU stuff for Tough Tiger Talk. I know I got a few boxing streams I'm gonna be putting up soon too. So we'll see how it all goes, man. Y'all hit y'all notification bells, man. And listen, I'm gonna holler at y'all on the next one. Much love. Who that to you, baby.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that at. Where we do that at. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that at. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.